Starting by the parentheses. We're explaining that the midos, while they're in bina, they're in the level of bittel, they're ayin, as opposed to when the midos come out later on, then they're a level of yesh. Why is it that before they're bittel and later on they're a yesh? So b'mokum achan is bayir tamlozeh. So elsewhere it explains the reason. Bipnei she's galus atik hu bebina, that revelation of atik, of keser, is in bina. Im kain. B'yoyis ha'aba v'yira klulim b'yisoid ema. When the Abba v'yira are included in the element of ema, in bina, where there is his galus atik, so that's they're tied to the world of tainuk. And v'zeu inyan shabina nikro droir. Bina is called freedom, droir, like it says droir yikra or krosum droir. Droir is freedom, which is almo decheru. This is a world of freedom. In the level of bina, where there is tainuk, as he's going to say, because over there of the shine and the level of his galus of atik. That's why it's a level of chedus, and this is also the idea. Yom Kippur, Yom Kippurim, and this is also what Yom Kippur is. Shekol ha'aliyah is derech ema. On Yom Kippur, all the elevations go through bina, through ema. V'hu b'chinas, and that is the level of re'usa deliba. The rotzen alev. You have the heart, that's the midas, the way there be his galus. You have the revealed level. The rotzen alev, that's the way the midas are still in the level of bina. So, on Yom Kippur, you have all the elevations coming through the level of bina. So therefore, the luchas achronis that were given in a quiet way, they were given a Yom Kippur. Why? Because Yom Kippur is everything comes through the level of bina. And what does it mean, b'chashoyi? That means the inner of the heart. That's the uso de liba. That's the level in which they're included in bina. It's in one place, it says. It's going to explain these reasons a little bit better in a minute. That's one. So basically, in this explains why is it bittul in the level of bina, is because of his galus atik bibina, because you have the level of keser comes in bina. In another place it says it's about oitam lazeh. Why is there bittul? The question what we're trying to figure out is why is there bittul in bina? So either because his galus, one place it says his galus atik is in bina. Over there it says another reason. Kihine, over there it says because chokhmah impacts also bina. Kine ava aim, that's chokhmah bina. Hein train rein the lem disparsion. They're like two friends that don't separate. In other words, they always go together. So wherever there is bina, there is chokhmah. There's chokhmah bina. Im kain kshamidas and klulim be yisoid ema. So therefore, when the midas are included in the element of ema, the element of bina, so in them also shines the element of chokhmah, because chokhmah comes together with bina. and Chokhmah is a power of my level bittul, Eitz HaChaim. V'zo inyan Shemona Esrei, and this is the idea, when the Shemona Esrei level of bittul we're talking about is Seloisa B'chashoi, that the davening is done in a quiet way. Again, there's a level of bittul. And what does it mean when it says Umimam Makim Krosicho? I call you from the depth. Beis Emkim, to depth. Hey, my base, you say this. Davaim, that's Chochmah Bina. So either the level of bittul in Bina comes because his galus atik is in Bina, or the level of bittul in Bina comes because it's connected to Chochmah, and Chochmah and Bina go together, and Chochmah, which is bittul, provides the bittul into Bina. And that's why the midah is stir arbot. So Ushnei HaTaimim Eilim B'Kona Echad, and both of these reasons are really go up in the same together. Al Pi Mashekosu B'Zer Reki Parshas Bereishis. She'ema Mekabeles Ma'atik Al Yidei Al Yisoid Da'aba. That how does Bina receive from Atik through the element of Abba? So basically, it means it receives from Bina, but it gets it through Abba. That's why Chochmah is called Eden. Eden means the delight, the Gan Eden. The Eden is delight, because really the level of Atik, even though we say it comes in Bina, is Galus Atik, but it comes through the level of Chochmah, and therefore that's why it's also called Eden. The bottom line is, these are just reasonings why the midos, when they are still in the level of Bina, are in a level of bittul, and the level, but what happens when they go out and become a midah by themselves? Abba is galus alev. But when the revelation of the heart, this is all reusa deliba, this is all this is all a level of bittul. But when it's revealed, when the midas are revealed, they become a level on themselves. So they are in a level where they're felt for an entity, for something. Yesh mishayim. There is somebody that loves. In other words, there is a metzius over there. There is an entity over there. Since we're talking about there's an entity, there could be later on a unique chitzonis. So then from the leftover of this measure, nimshach unikas chitzonim. So that extends the notion of the chitzonim. Shua yesh hagomur. That should be a complete yesh. So you start thinking of yourself as an entity, something, because you say, oh, I have love. So you start thinking about yourself that you're on a level of Yeshu. So that's already Mamashinikas, so that becomes the Chitzonim. So, but that comes all where? In the Izgalus Halev, in the level what is revealed to the outside, not in the level of Bina, but where the midas are midas by themselves. So he says, although when it's included in Bina, there is also that step to the outside. He's talked about the Vav that has a leaning go to the outside. That is only in every midah, there is the power for revelation of that midah, but it's not revealed yet. But still, it has not yet been extended from them in a revealed actual way. That malchus should be in love by itself. Only after the birth, when the midah comes out, when the midah is revealed, then from the level of yesh, there can be the nurturing of the chitzon. Extended even more. It's written elsewhere, that discusses the Eitz Hadas, Eitz HaChaim. I guess we learned before that that's level of Bina, that's where the Eitz HaChaim is, that's the high level. And the Eitz Hadas is Galus, Toivera, because the Midas have to struggle. Ube'inyan Yayin HaMeshumar Ba'nova Mesheshis Mebresis, and then the wine, which is guarded in the grapes from the times of the 6 days of creation. So look over there in the Mamer over there. Oh, so B'hinei B'yois Ikir Inyan HaMasos Ubichdei Lachdiach Hitzayim. Since the main purpose of these journeys is to subdue the outers, the klippas, so they should not have any nurturing from the midas of kedusha. Alkein hu al yidei ha'alosam v'izkalalusam b'ir ema. That is through elevating them, including them in the light of bina. V'lo yiyu b'chinas hegesh klal. So they should not be felt midas. V'lochein. And that's why lo hoyu nechshavim. So that's why these journeys we only counted ke'im b'shisha midas, only the 6 midas shekol echad mehen kolu mezayin, which each one is included of 7. Because only 6, because we're not in the level and we're there at Metzia. So there can be a Yenika, we're bringing them up to the level of Bina where there is no Yenika. Since there is no Yenika, that's the level of Skalu, so there's only 6 meters there. But on Sfiras HaImer, over there, we're trying to bring down the meters from above to below to the outside. Oz mibchinas malchus. So that before is the haloah, the nesiyan in the midbar is the elevator. But Sfiras HaImer is hamshochas hamidas. Melmailo lemato lechutz. Oz mibchinas malchus habamidas, from the level of malchus in each of the individual midas of Zoh. The Zoh nivna b'chinas bina malchus part b'fnei atzma. That builds the structure of malchus, a partzuf. Structure by itself. Then it's 7 weeks. Zayin pamim zaychud, 7 times 7. So there is a shalasakin shaloyi yenikas achitzonis, that in order to fix, there should not be a nurturing of the chitzonis. Nimshach makifin the ema login alamidas. You bring down the makif of bina to protect the midas. That is, the pasuk says, the mother is kneeling over the birds, which means the mother is bina. Bina is over. The birds are the children; those are the midas, and bina protects them. We say about the korban, the par of Yom Kippur, that we want the mother to come and wipe away the egel. The egel, the baby makes dirty, so the mother wipes it up. So the par wipes up for the egel. The egel was the one that caused the egel the sin. So therefore, so also you have the aim protects it, showing that the aim bina comes in to take care of the midas. And elsewhere it's explained, Shemislapshin bov ktsovas the abo, bevov ktsovas the ema, that the 4 levels of the 4 corners, the 6 corners, the midas of chokhmah dress up in the 6 corners of the ema bina. Ubezen nishmorim hamidas minikas achitzonim, and that is the way they're protected from the nikas achitzonim. So over here, that would seem a little different than we're saying over here. Here we're saying how to protect them is by bringing them up to the level of bina. So instead of being metzias midos, they should become bittul midos. But over there, it seems to say that the way they get their bittul is because they get from the level of Chochmah in Bina, and that protects it. But he says, the Mekol Mokoim, it's not fully protected, basically. Tzorich Loimar. The Mekol Mokoim, Aidei B'chinas Mem Beis, the level of the 42 journeys, the name Shemab, Sha'amidus Klulim B'Yisoid Emo Mamish, that the Midas get actually included in the Yisoid Emo. Not that you're Mamshich Chochmah in the Bina, but they include Mamish, Machaniya Chitzonim Yoser. That's the way to subdue them more. Sheshom Ein Lahem Shum Shlita V'Nikra Klal. Over there, in the level of Bina, they have no dominance and no nurturing at all. Yes, there is. You can bring down Makif from the Ema to protect them. You can bring down from Chochmah into Bina, but the real way to become protection is to elevate the Midas from the level of the outside to elevate them into the level of Bina, which there is no unique at all. I guess because once they're outside, even though you're protecting them, but there's still a level of you need protection over there. So this is the real way to have the bittul in the Midas. We know this will understand the idea. Rabbi Chaim Wolosow, before he was passing away, he cried and he said, why are you crying? He says, I don't know. Where is the path? Am I going to Gan Eden or the other direction? Where am I going? This seems to be surprising. How did he even have any doubt in his mind that they're going to lead him to Gehenna? All of his life, all of his days, he was always studying Torah and serving Hashem. Why would he say, I don't know where they're going to lead me? Sure, he goes to Gan Eden. But because his love and fear was included in the Meichin De'ema, in the level Binam, because he was so tied down in his grasp, in his reflection, it was always in the Meichin over there. And the Sham, Hamid is built in Murgoshim Klal. Over there, you don't feel the Midas. L'chein, lo yehoyu yedei Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, im nispoil ba'abav yira, did he become excited with love and fear of Hashem? He wasn't sure because it was the level of bittul. It wasn't a yeshus. It wasn't bizgalus. So it was an internal sort of, an intellectual avir. He wasn't sure. Did he really become excited? Since he didn't feel them at all. That's why he said, I don't know where they're taking me, because he didn't feel that. Well, so one could argue and say, all right, so he wasn't sure if he had the Avavira, but he knew that he learned Torah, and he knew that he was serving Hashem. He wasn't sure. He didn't feel that Avavira. He didn't know. So why is that? So he says, no, because for not having Avavira, you also get punished. So he brings the parentheses, explains, Ki al heder hayira yesh einish. There is a punishment for lack of yira. So he thought maybe he's going to Gehenna for the. Why? We know the angels are afraid from judgment. And it does not really apply there. It's not applicable there to have an actual sin. Mamer, as we say, and Moshe Rabbeinu was telling them why the Torah cannot be given to them. So, do you have a Yetzirah? So why are they afraid of the judgment, the Malachim? They don't have to do mitzvahs. There's no Yetzirah. That maybe their fear isn't properly. As it says elsewhere. So therefore, Rabbi Chaim Wolosow was worried. Maybe his Abba Yira wasn't Kedaboy, and maybe that's why he's going to Gehenna. Because his midas were hidden and covered and hidden in his intellect, and that is a person who is very deeply involved in intellect. If he's a person who's so involved, he doesn't feel any midah. Even though for sure the midah is part of the asoga, but he doesn't feel it. Also understand what is elsewhere with regards to the idea of Giviyah HaKesef Shehitmin Yosef Amtachas Binyamin. Yosef hides the cup in the pack of Binyamin. Explain, the Kesef is the level of Ava. Binyamin is a Tzaddik Goli. He's like the Midas Begili. Yosef is a Tzaddik Elyon. He's like the level, like in the level of Bina. And you hide the Yosef's Ava inside the Ava of the Binyamin, of the Tzaddikim, of the Beinanim. He's going to say Yosef is like the Tzaddikim and Binyamin is like the Beinanim. Sometimes a Beinani gets the Kesef, the silver, the cup, the Geviyah Kesef. That is Yosef's, even in his avodah from a Bein. Kihine, Yosef, Tzaddik Elyon. He is a supreme tzaddik. Ubinyamin Nikra Tzaddik Tachtin. He's called a tzaddik log. Meshikosim is there. The biur aposim yitanchol k'ochli chulu ainsho. Sheyesh neshomes sheheim mebechinas Yosef. So there is neshomes at the level of Yosef. V'yesh mebechinas Binyamin. Ba'ayin in beis neshomes elu b'geres hakodesh save the Ramasch v'yaz lo b'tshom. So v'hinei. And it's so it's the sparks that expand from Binyamin. Those are the souls of the Beinanim. Similar to what's explained in the Tanya. So what is the level of a Beinanim? Always struggling, fighting the Yetzer Hara. But that's the level of the Beinanim, where they need to be at the level of the Beinanim. But then it's Bechinas Yosef. So Bechinas Neshomas HaTzadikim. Sparks of Yosef, that's the souls of the Tzadikim. So Mavur B'Sefer Shel Bein Perik Yud explains in the Tanya and Perik Yud the Bechinas Tzadik Zeu Mashakosu. What is a Tzadik? That's what it means. Ma Yofiso Mana Amto. That the person says how beautiful, how sweet. It's a love of the light. A tzaddik, the hainu shemis'aneg al Hashem, einig nifla, that he delights over Hashem. A wondrous delight. As opposed to a Beinani. So a tzaddik has the level of delight, has the level of tainuk. Beinani doesn't have that. But still, sometimes it happens. Relative to the value, to the level of the Beinani, sometimes he can have also a level of love with joy and tainuk. It's not complete. The time of the it talks about that at certain times you can have that level, and also the same Perikidal is Anig Lismechulu. Ba'ayin Mashikosim is the Pashas Tzave, the Ramaschel Zocher Damal. So Inyan Giviyah HaKesef Shehit Bin Yosef Amtachas Binyamin. This is the idea of that silver cup that Yosef hid in the pack of Binyamin. Kesef hu b'chinas Ava. Kesef is the level of Ava, level of love. Kesef comes from the Lashon yearning. When Shekosu Berabbis says in the Medrash Rabbis in Nosei Sei Parsha Yud Gimel, Gabe Kares Kesef, they talk Kares Kesef Shu Al Shem, Nichsefo v'Gam Kol So Nafshi. My soul is yearning, expiring. Mamer, another pasuk. Ki nichseif nichsavta lebeis avicha. Lavan is telling Yaakov, you were yearning to your father's home, you wanted to leave. Why do you steal my gods? He's complaining to him. All the lotion of nichseif kesef. Similar what the Zohar writes in the matter of Tov Olmin the Chesufim the Nisangebut Tzadikayo. There's the 400 worlds of yearning in which the tzaddikim are delighting in. So this is all the level of kesef. So that's the level of Ava. So Yosef's kesef, Yosef's Ava, the Himshich Yosef Tzaddik Elyon. So Yosef the Tzaddik Elyon extended b'chinazul Binyamin. He extended the Binyamin. Kidei shegam b'nishomes habeininim shehem arnofim v'netzutzim hamispashtim b'Binyamin. So that also in the souls of the Beinanim, which are branches and sparks that expands from Binyamin, yuchaliyas b'chinas avazu, there should be this love. So why can't Yosef just give it to Binyamin? Why does he have to put it in his backpack, make like in a hidden way? Why did he have to hide the cup so that Binyamin should know? That is because by the Beinanim, who are the sparks of Binyamin, this love needs to be in a way he himself cannot know of this great love. He cannot be revealed to him. The Bechinas Abba Tanugi. Why? Because that is a level of a tzaddik which is higher than the Bein. So Shemizgalus Avazu beBeinim because if he knows the Beinani that in his level he's getting something higher than like he can become an entity and arrogance because he knows, oh, now I got this higher level. So it has to be hidden in that level, in his avodah that he himself doesn't know about. So basically, the Beinani has in his Ava such a great level, but he doesn't even know about it. How is it possible that he should have this great supreme love, this great madrega? He doesn't know him. He's a Beinani. He has the love from a tzaddik. He has a love of a tanugim. He doesn't know about it. This is understood what we wrote about the matter with Rabbi Chaim Wolosow. That because he was so preoccupied in his intense reflection and meditation, he didn't know from this love. So any day the imkain. What is the, therefore pirush? What is the meaning? Shehitmin hagavia, which is hitmin hagavia. So inyan chasodim amechusim b'yisoid ema. Those are chasodim that are hidden in the element of ema, which means that you don't feel the level of ava. V'ayim ashekosu b'parshas vayigash al posik vayilakit Yosef. It's called a kesef. V'ayim ashekosu b'inyan ava b'tanug al posik hachlil enayim miyoyin yena shel Torah, which nichnas yayin chulu. So it's a lotion yivia kesef sheboinim shcha yayin. That's why it's a silver cup which the wine becomes revealed. So this is all in this higher level. So basically, it's possible to be, you can't, nobody will bring you to Euro, but being in the level of Bina, but Rabbi Chaim ben Zakkai actually had the higher level. Here we're talking about Rabbi Chaim ben Zakkai had the higher level. And therefore he didn't know, he wasn't the level of Bina, he didn't know because the Abba Yira were not Murgoshi. But we're talking about a Beinoni, right? We're talking about a Beinoni who's elevating himself, I guess, to the level of Bina, or he gets a gift, the cup from Yosef to come to him. Why did he say, I don't know? It's not like he didn't really know, but it was just his humility. He said, I'm a Beinoni, even the half a P. So in his own eyes, he appeared like a Beinoni. He's naig al derech shit min Yosef. So therefore, he conducted himself just like Yosef gives a level which is not mine. You don't even know. To the extent that he himself doesn't know about this great level. Rabbi Chaim ben Zakkai said, I don't know. It's a level that was there, hidden, and he didn't know about it. Brings down the parenthesis now one more idea over here. If you mashikosafti yesh lemer l'chayra, we can say this is also connected. We told before in the parentheses we talked about Yom Kippur. That Yom Kippur is also bina. And Yom Kippur is everything is quiet, and that's why in Yom Kippur we have 6 aliyahs. So that relates to the idea that there's only 6 versus 7. The midas are only 6 because we said in bina. By Yom Kippur, there is no level of malchus. It's still the way it's mechusim. It's still before the midas come out in the outside. So that would fit very nicely with the idea that on Yom Kippur there's only 6 aliyahs. What it brings down, there's another interpretation that because malchus is there, but malchus goes to a higher place, that's why there's only 6. So, why do we only read 6 people? So Shaykh Linyan Anal, this is also connected to this above idea that we discussed. Similar, that when the midas are covered by the spheres, the element of aim of bina, the shisha midas. Miu, the Rabbi Chaim Nisbayer binyan achar. There is differently. Because Malchus is the 7th, also Lamaila, it went up higher than Bina. So there is no, it's not that there is no Malchus yet. It's a level higher. It means to say, also Lamaila Mazo. The Zoh has not gone up to there yet. So the Zohar has only 6 because the 7 has already surpassed them, going to higher up. This says, it went up to that place, which we say, what's covered, don't investigate, meaning that's totally beyond the person's capacity. So the Rebbe says, l'chayra, you could say that it's connected, but the bottom line is, it's still over there in the Rabbi Chaim, it says differently. Over there it said there is Malchus, so he leaves it at that. All right, let's leave it over here.